Welcome back, giggling gals. It's time to gallivant our way through a new realm.
Wow, off to a strong start.
That extra 2 fucked me up so bad. I couldn't get a pace in that at all.
Do you want to try again?
No, it's going in there. Greetings to the first episode of our deep dive of Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. This is the first book of a potential 3-book series. I see you like moving your hands like you're conducting.
I'm like a Voster with my water show.
She is working on the second book now, but rumor is early 2026 the next book will be released. But based on how SJM has emotionally terrorized all of us, I don't count down to books anymore. Just let Jesus take the wheel, and we get the books when we get them at this point.
It's like
Sarah J. Maas has ruined me. Sarah Janet.
Sarah Janet. It's a Sarah Janet moment, you know?
Yeah, she's not Sarah J. Maas until that book comes out. She's Sarah Janet. She's in timeout.
She's Sarah Janeting so hard right now.
Ugh, Sarah Janet, give us that damn book. But
she's
Shield of Sparrows.
Do you think that her and T Swift are like texting each other back and forth? Like,
oh my gosh, what if they're plotting like a release together?
Oh my God.
A girl can dream, right?
They would both break the internet if they did like the same day.
Or would they heal us all?
Both. Sometimes you need a break before you can heal.
I think we're there. Taylor Swift and ACOTAR 6 are the only things that can save us.
Well, because this fucking book ruined us in the
yes
way possible.
I literally had a book hangover, which we'll get into. While we may be giggling gals, we don't recommend listening to this podcast around little ears or ears that may be offended because we say bad words and shitty things.
I already said fuck, so I hope you got that.
Probably should have given the warning first, but you know,
before Blakely talks, we should have the warning.
I mean, if they're listening to us, they should know.
They should know. While covering this book, just know there will be spoilers for the entire book in each episode. So please stop what you're doing and go read this book if you haven't already. Remember that thoughts, feelings, and theories, and just things we say can evolve, change, be debunked, or be completely off the rails. Regardless, it's all for fun and it's not that deep.
That's what she said.
Thank you.
Conductor Blakely.
Mm-hmm. Really talking with my hands today. My Italian is coming out.
Now that you've got a stand for your iPad, you are just a different gal.
I have so much more room for activities with my hands.
Now let's see you do Thriller.
Yeah, I can. It's easier to do Beat It right now, to be honest, but that's what you
You were doing
I know, I was already
you were doing the dance move and I was actually like doing Beat It. Like
But anyways, just tell me, Kai, what was your original rating of this book?
5 fucking stars. 5 stars. Never wavered. I was telling you earlier, like when I'm reading a book, the book starts at 3 and then it generally like goes one way or the other throughout the whole book. And this just moved to a 5 and sat there the whole book. I'm ruined. I literally couldn't even talk to you for a whole day. I was just like, I'm distraught. I had to go to Empire of Storms as a comfort read. But as a comfort read, Blakely, that.
You went to Empire of Storms. Yeah, that's how you know it's bad. You guys, she was so bitchy. Like, she couldn't.
So rude. That was rude.
Rude. So fucking rude. Yeah, she was very upset.
I was sad. Would you rate it?
Solid 5. I haven't been like this about a book in a long time.
I know you literally harassed me all weekend about it. Are you done?
Okay, not really. I looked back at my text messages. They weren't that bad. I was holding back so hard. I was busy, thank God, because I was killing.
Thank God.
Because I think I finished the book on Wednesday morning?
Yeah, I was in the middle of another book. Shocking.
Yeah, and I was like beside myself for 5 days until she finished it.
And then I did it. Well, once again, my family is a bunch of goddamn yappers. But God forbid they talk to each other.
They just want your attention.
All day. I don't know what's so special about me. Like between them and the cats and the dog. It's a lot. It's hard to be loved.
It's a mystery. So 5 stars.
I mean, I It's such a good book. Like Goodreads already has it at a 4.5 with 42,000 ratings. Kindle 4.5 with 17,000 ratings. Like it's not just a 5-star to us. It's a 5-star to a lot of people.
Which I love that.
It's 5-star in all of our hearts.
I was about to say 5-star in our hearts.
Just like it's not next to Twilight 5-star in my heart. It's like way above though.
No, it's like a real 5-star.
Easily this series will move into my favorites, assuming like the second book is like really good.
I think
I'm
it will.
going to assume it will be.
Yeah, I think it'll be top 5 fave series.
Yeah, like it's so good. I love
Love
it.
it. Loves it.
Devney, what have you done to us?
I'm so happy she did though. It's what I needed at halfway through the year. I needed something to rock me.
Now you can get back on track to your reading goal. Is there anything you want to chit chat before we really get into it?
No, you?
I want to apologize in advance for my incessant use of the word suspicious. It's a lot, but a lot of shit is very suspicious in this book. So, guys,
I'm glad I looked through just briefly of some of your writing and you did write suspicious and not sus. So you're just proving that you are a millennial and not Gen Z.
I can I can use sus, but it
Fair.
just doesn't fit. Yeah, sparingly. It's like it just doesn't fit with the way I speak.
No, I feel like if I say sus, it's like to be an asshole.
Yeah,
Like
and
joking in a way.
I, I don't I don't want to be like a try hard mom. Like,
No.
so tell us what's the haps with this book?
So I'm gonna give you the fish blurb about it. Ready? Spaghetti?
Spaghetti.
Mm-hmm. Shield of Sparrows is a slow burn, high stakes romantasy perfect for fans of Sarah Janet masks. We're not saying Jay right now, or Rebecca Yaros, where enemies become lovers, monsters stalk a cursed realm, and a forgotten princess finds the strength to tear off her crown and become the warrior she was never meant to be. Dun, dun, dun. The gods sent monsters to 5 kingdoms to remind mortals they must kneel. I've spent my life kneeling to their will and to my father's. As a princess, my only duty is to wear the crown and obey the king. I was never meant to rule, never meant to fight, and I was never supposed to be the daughter who sealed an ancient treaty with her own blood. But that changed the fateful day I stepped into my father's throne room. The day a legendary monster hunter sailed to our shores. The day a pruance?
I love a good Pruance.
I love a pruance so much. The day a prince ruined my life and maybe my vagina. Now I'm crossing crossing treacherous lands besides a warrior who despises me as much as I despise him, bound to a future I didn't choose and a husband I barely know. Everyone wants me to be something I'm not. I'm not. Okay. A queen, a spy, a sacrifice. But what if I refuse the role chosen for me? What if I made my own rules? What if there's power in being underestimated? And what if, for the first time, I reached for it?
I'm really proud because I got more dramatic as you read it. I almost stopped you and been like, I need more drama. But you nailed it. Touche.
Thanks. I didn't even use that much of my hands, so next time.
I mean, yeah, it's okay. I'll let it pass this one time, but next time I want you to bring the drama.
I just want to apologize to my inner drama kid. You could have done better. Go ahead.
Thank you. Content warnings for this book. Shield of Sparrows is a heart-stopping romantasy set in a world of deadly monsters, and even it's the content warning. I can't be too dramatic because we're warning of things. And even deadlier mysteries. As such, the story includes elements that might not be suitable for all readers, including combat, violence, blood, gore, death of humans and animals, injury, dismemberment, illness, hospitalization, arson, alcohol use, sexual activity, and graphic language, with mentions of poisoning and trafficking in backstory. Readers who may be sensitive to these elements, please take note. We invite you to grab a blade and prepare for a new world. We will crack jokes, but we do take these matters very seriously.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Now, relax those shoulders, unclench those jaws, clench that clam, and let's begin our journey.
Chapter 1 We get a recreation of Jenny deciding to jump off the balcony in Forrest Gump. Except our Princess of Quintus isn't on heroin and is actually just a bit of a thrill seeker, and she's a real fucking sick of everyone's expectations. A relatable princess with a classic case of intrusive thoughts. So relatable. The problem is if she jumps, she'll be late. And if she's late, she'll be in what Taylor Swift was with Harry Styles. Trouble, trouble, trouble. Margot, her stepmother, or stepmonster, the jury is still out on that one, would be real pissy if she missed the meeting with the Turin warriors that dear old dad invited to Quintus.
It's like it's no orgy start to a book, but it is a very solid hook with the cliff diving.
I mean, I feel like every Mission Impossible has started with cliff diving, so she's onto something here.
I have
Devney,
a confession.
what?
I have a confession. I've only seen one Mission Impossible movie, and it was the one where he jumps off that cliff or whatever. And that was when I was in Oklahoma with my torn ACL.
The second Mission Impossible, where he has the longer hair and he's that one?
No, the most recent one that Tom
Oh,
Cruise. Yeah, that's it. That's the only one I've ever seen.
okay. Let's talk about this.
Oh shit.
So John hates Tom Cruise. I'm not the biggest fan because I've done too many deep dives on Scientology. But with that said, I do love Mission Impossible. I also love, well, I specifically love Maverick, not so much Top Gun as much, but I fucking love action movies. I'm just a dude, okay? Love-
I love that for you. Like if I have to choose between like Mission Impossible and Godzilla, I'm choosing Godzilla.
I would pick Mission Impossible.
What does that say about us?
Well, I'm sneaky. I've always wanted to be a spy. Did you play a lot of like secret?
What do you think I'm over stomp? What am I playing Stitch? Like stomping on a city?
You're Godzilla. You're just walking around. No, I have always loved spy movies. So that was my point. I've always wanted to be a spy.
Big Spy Kids gal.
Actually, no, I've never seen that movie.
Remember, I just watched them.
Yeah.
Starting backwards to the first one, because why not when your kid's in charge?
Yeah, I've never watched Spy Kids. Does that make me a bad millennial? Or are we
Yeah.
too?
And I didn't watch it till now, so
I actually think that we were a little old for it.
I think it was like right on the cusp. Like,
Yeah.
not that we're not elder millennials. We're like middle-aged millennials.
Yeah. Oh, why do you have to say middle age? But you're right.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
So, you guys, it's the first fucking paragraph of the episode and actually the first paragraph of the book. And my psychotic theory brain is already on overdrive. When Odessa is contemplating jumping, she says, the slightest tremor in the earth and I'd either fall or fly. The use of the word fly is getting me a little bit, and I could be reaching, and that's fine. I always am. All I will say is I'm working on something, and these are your hints. Flying. And you want to know what else flies? The crux. Okay. I don't know. Something's brewing here. Something's in the noggin. Thought the way that she used flying twice was interesting.
I feel like with Devney's writing style, I feel like she writes with intention. And I even mentioned that at another point. Like, I don't feel like this is a throwaway. I don't feel like she uses that many throwaways. We'll find out next book. Imagine if everything we analyze was like wrong.
I just feel like it's very intentional writing.
I do too. I feel like we're
I
meant
think
to
I
like
even wrote it
dig.
there. So I wrote something like, this is a interesting throwaway line if it was. No, like she said it on purpose. And so
Yeah.
I don't know, flying and the way that she made such a big deal about it, something
It seems very intentional use of the word,
Mhm.
especially given the main monster.
Yes. So she walked away from the edge and thought about how her half sister May, who could charm the pants off the guests, possibly literally, and she wasn't really needed. May had been groomed her entire life for this type of vacation. She was to be the future queen of Turin later this year. Her attendance wouldn't really make a difference. May was to be primped for the meeting like it was the Oscar red carpet, and Margot, her stepmom, made it very clear that she must not be late.
I think it's safe to say that Odessa is a little type B, but can you blame her? Like, they don't really mention pocket watches, so like she just has the sky to go off of, which my little brother taught me how to like tell time that way.
No, John's still trying. I don't know north, west, and south, so I just am not. I'm not fucking Lewis and Clark. Okay.
You have so many mountains to help you.
When have I ever been interested in that?
They're literally east of you. All the mountain ranges are east of you.
Okay. What's your point?
Okay, if you can find east, you can find the rest.
That's a valid point that he's never told me.
I got you, boo.
Wow. This is an educational podcast. So I'm so
So
much smarter now.
if the mountains are on your right side, you're
Well,
north.
don't use left. Thank you. I use my hands to know left and right. I've gotten better about it.
And then if it's on your left side, the L, you're facing south. I got you.
See? Learning. I hope you guys learn too.
If you live in Washington State and you live along the 5, then yes, that will help you.
It's clear that Kylie has lived in California because she said the 5.
Once again, we have a lot of freeways here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry you guys have 2. 3, excuse me. There's the 90.
The
Fuck you. Carry on.
as in from Quicksilver or
You haven't even read it.
I I'm still part of the bookish community.
I just wanted to be cool.
Did it work?
Yeah.
No.
You look way cooler.
You shut me down instantly.
I'm not going to let you lie to people. We're building these relationships of trust.
Shit. While heading towards her shoes, she saw Banner proudly on a saddle.
On his sad.
Don't. While heading towards her,
Third time's a charm.
let's go. I'm gonna fuck it up again. I feel it. Fuck it. I'm just so nervous now.
You got this. You can do this.
I can do it, baby girl. While heading towards her shoes, she saw Banner proudly on his saddle. Banner, her fiance, who has short, light brown hair, brown eyes with an amber starburst, like all those born in Quentin, was all fancy for the meeting. We find out that he actually was out there for some fresh air and not at all out there for her. Because the Guardian traveled with the Rangers, we learned 3 things for certain about Banner, not Rune. 1, unfailing loyalty to her father. 2, he loved the status that came from his rank and being betrothed to a princess. And 3, he loathed the Guardian. Oh, also, they don't love each other and they're not really friends. And P.S., he is 15 years older than her. Just a little backstory.
I love an age gap, but this ain't it.
No.
The minute Flag Boy walked onto the scene, like, I knew he wasn't the one. I just knew. He was so rigid, and that's not how you talk to a fiancé. I didn't fuck with Banner to begin with. And I called him Flag Boy, and I can't stop.
I was like, she's calling him Flag Boy, by the way, because that's what Banner means. Just want to say that.
I want to know why Margot puts her in so much gray. Like, likely so she doesn't stand out and just washes away in the background. But maybe did the gray wash out Odessa's skin tone and Margot is like jealous of her youthful look?
Thank you for bringing this up. I looked into this because when I think of someone constantly in gray, I think about Angela from The Office in her American Doll gray clothes. But I also, back in the day, gray is what peasants and monks wore. It symbolizes humility. It's neutral and blends into the background, while everyone else, including Banner's formal uniform, is blue. Everyone wears blue besides poor little second-rate Princess Odessa. In the next chapter, Odessa even says, in gray, basically blended into the stone floor. Maybe that was the idea. It's giving Cinderella vibes for me. Odessarelli, gray peasant-colored princess.
I think like Margot
Margot
wanted people to forget that there was another princess.
I think so too.
If
That
she's in the
was
background, that's why she muted her hair color, even though she has Merida hair.
okay. I'm gonna go off topic for a second, but I said this to you last week. I love the color blue. It's my favorite. And I was talking to my sister-in-law. Her favorite color is blue. Her daughters are also blue. The stranger we met on our walk that moved onto our island and invited us into her new house.
And you went in that house.
And I did go in that house. I knew I could pick.
Stranger.
I went into a stranger's house, but I knew I could take her. She had a real estate look about her. But hers was also blue. And I want to know, what do we all have in common? Blue eyes. So my question is, does old Blue Eyes have natural built narcissism in them that we're all like, blue's my favorite color because Avia looks best in my eyes? Because you want to know who else who has blue eyes? Margot.
Rowan has blue eyes, but his favorite color changes every week.
Oh, my kids are pretty much blue and green, which is kind of their eye color.
Ro has green right now because that's his teacher's favorite color, and he
Mhm.
likes her more than me, so
But have you noticed that? Anyone with blue eyes is like, blue's my favorite color.
I don't know, we should take
Full.
a survey. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm interested. So eye color clearly plays an importance in this book, so we're gonna be tracking from here on out. Obviously, it plays more, like, into the Guardian and Odessa, but still tracking in case somebody else's eye color's off. We're looking at you, Voster.
And if you're with us during Onyx Storm, you know we love a fucking eye color theory. So stay tuned. In this episode alone, we take you to eye school multiple times. But this is the first time we hear that all those born on Quentin soil have an amber starburst in their eyeballs.
I wonder what the starburst means specifically. Obviously that they're attached to the land, but why choose that?
I think this is something we will be exploring deeply.
Just
Really
something to
madly
unpack.
deeply.
Love a little Savage Garden.
I know. Underrated.
I'm
And I
gonna
might,
put that on my playlist for
yeah, I
the
was gonna say I'm gonna listen to this true.
like, not me pulling it up on Spotify so I remember to listen.
I hope we inspired you guys. He asks her to pray to the goddess of peace, Kareen, today so he can keep his shit together. But he vows that he will one day have his revenge because this guardian fella destroyed his family, allegedly. All Odessa knew of the matter is that the guardian killed Banner's brother, aka Flag Boy Bro. They fought over a woman in Turah. The fight ended in his brother's death. The devastation of the loss had Banner's mama taken her own life, a little 86 from life intentionally, as one would say.
That's how everybody says it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Banner's a dick,
Totally.
clearly. He was yelling in her face, like, that's not okay.
No.
But his brother fought the Guardian over a woman, but they didn't say it was for love. So there is more to this story, clearly, because Banner's a dick. There's more to this story, and obviously the Guardian's cool, but
Yeah. And we obviously find out by the end of the book, but that makes you think of Banner and his intentional leaving stuff out. What else is he leaving out on things?
I mean, he left a lot out. Fucking this guy.
But Banner is like a bootleg, I'm a Ningo Montoya who killed my brother, but prepared to die. Like, shut up, boring Banner. The Guardian isn't the six-fingered man, all right?
If we had to put him in a court for A Court of Thorn and Roses, which court do you think he'd be in? I have a strong feeling on which one he'd be in. He'd be in the Autumn Court.
Autumn Core?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he fits in with those fucks.
Like, he's not, I mean, Spring Court is like Tamlin's the only dick, so, I mean, I'm sure there's others, but he's the main dick.
He's like the head dick in charge in Spring Court, one might,
The HDIC.
if you will. You know?
I was gonna fucking say that, and then
Really?
I didn't, but you did it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I didn't even
I
say.
like that you wrote about the face thing too.
I know, so I was ignoring that. I didn't know what I said. So
We're both like, fuck this guy though. We're just so mad at him. Like, you don't talk to women like that. You don't talk to anyone like that. Treat us with some fucking respect. Put some respect on Odessa's name.
fucker.
Ugh.
Banner does offer to end his walk early and take her back, but Odessa tells him, no thanks, dog. She gets lost in her thoughts thinking about May, and she would soon be married to a prince. She had fulfilled her role according to the court in the Calandra Trade Treaty, kept the five kingdoms at peace. She was the sparrow. Oh, and also May's nickname could be All the Way May, because she's the opposite of virginal, and that is from one of my favorite softball movies. One of my favorite softball movies. It's the only fucking softball movie I've ever seen. A League of Their Own, by the way. But my favorite softball movie, who says that? I think that May probably has high body count hair. Odessa looks out to the sea and can't help but think May is a lucky brat that she gets to leave and see the world. the ocean beckoned, and before she knew it, she was sprinting towards the water, and then she was flying.
I love a good Twilight reference.
Mhm.
Because, in Twilight, Bella did cliff jump. It was actually New Moon, but, that way people know what I'm talking about because everybody's read this book. But, she was just seeking a thrill. A thrill, just one.
Just one thrill.
Similarities between her and that Loca Bella, they're up there.
So, not at all.
They
Personality.
cliff jumped, one and the same. You know? That
She's
makes them
also like Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible. Exactly the same.
I guess if Ethan and Bella made a baby, they'd make Odessa.
Right. Exactly. I'm very afraid of heights, so this would not be my route I would go through. But I am extremely impulsive, so her wanting to do this does make sense for me.
I
Too.
have cliff jumped, and it is so fun on Lake Chelan,
Mm,
and I 100% would do it again.
I would never do it.
See, I'm a thrill seeker. I love it. Used to want to go skydiving, but I've torn too many things to think that that's safe now.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be good for you.
If I wouldn't have torn my ACL, if I wouldn't have torn my Achilles tendon,
Hey, Kylie, why don't you share with the class how you tore both of those?
they're both unique stories.
So just give a little snippet of each.
My Achilles tendon was 3 months after giving birth, so I had a
Mhm.
3-month-old, and it was my first time drinking. Had a whole bottle of champagne. There's a picture of me asleep on a bed with, holding my beer, and while everybody else is just talking around me, but a friend of mine encouraged me to do a pull-up, and I was like, "Yeah," on some scaffolding in New York City after a baseball game, and, I attempted it. I can't do one sober, and I landed on my feet, fell backwards. We walked to another bar. I was fine. And then we went to the doctor the next day because I was like, "My shoulder hurts." And they're like, "You might have torn something else." But I did sprain my shoulder. So my ACL was a little bit more recent. It was, 2023?
Mhm.
November 2023. My dad had a heart attack in Oklahoma. He doesn't live there, just to clarify. And, he was there for work, and so I went to go visit him in the hospital, and my sister and I decided to take a scooter ride down in Oklahoma City,
Who wouldn't want to?
just sightseeing on a scooter in Oklahoma. Who wouldn't do that? And I hit a track, and I, flipped over the handlebars, tore my ACL. Was afraid to tell my dad. We're in the hospital. It's like 5 o'clock in the emergency room. Amber's like, "You got to tell dad." I'm like, "There's no way." I sprained my ankle carrying couch cushions once.
What's funny is, yes, I was the athlete growing up, and I'm less accident prone. But you have run marathons, not full marathons, but you.
I've done, you haven't done a full marathon. Give my half marathon some credit.
Well, I just you're not crazy,
I know, I've done half marathon, I've done so many 5Ks, I hike, I paddleboard, I'm, super active now and still.
I just didn't want people to think that you're just,
Oh,
terrible.
no, I'm an idiot, that's fine.
So we're gonna have a little dictionary time. Quintus, name meaning is the fifth. Turah, it's a fragrance pleasing to God, just FYI. Calandra is Greek, meaning lovely one. In Italian, it's a beautiful singing voice. So that's great. Banner is a flag bearer. And then you wrote what a fucking dork, which tracks. And Crane is dear, beloved, or pure, who was the goddess of peace. So that's number one goddess or god that we have been introduced to. We're just keeping track here. Little roll call.
We learned during Onyx Storm that people need to know, definitions of things and characters, because otherwise people are like, "Who the fuck is this?"
And we get a little high from doing it. We get really excited when the names match up and the meanings. So I love it when authors do this.
I do too, God.
Which, interesting, Rebecca and both Devney, romance authors, and they do this for us. Thank you, guys.
I think did I mention it in this? Or was I just on the phone talking about this damn book? But romance authors like Rebecca and Devney have made such a great shift into the fantasy world. It is such a beautiful transition. Props to them.
I love that for them and for us.
Literally the best fantasy books ever. Top 5.
Top
Chapter 2. So we're going to start off with Odessa's name meaning. In Latin, it means long journey, which I think is Pretty fucking suiting.
Hmm.
It also means wrathful. Odessa is the feminine version of Odysseus, which has taken on the connotative Jesus meaning of wandering, traveling, adventure in honor of the famous voyage in Homer's epic, the Odyssey. Is her damn name foreshadowing?
I think it may be. And also, Odessa sounds like a derivative of Oda, aka Papa God. So let's just put that in our back pocket too.
I like that. That's a fun little tidbit.
I already wrote it down for chapter two.
I think, like, just seeing her name meaning was, like, really makes me feel like Devney is, like,
Hmm.
she's a nugget girl.
She is a nugget girl for sure. And I love that for us because we're nugget girls too.
We just can't stop. So Odessa was soaking wet, but not in a yin yang twin sort of way. She's been getting off by cliff jumping since she was 16. Apparently, it's the only thing she is good at since she sucks at archery. And as we learned, girlfriend is blessed with 2 left feet and a rather large shortage of grace. Odessa claims the cliff as her own because she says, I'd claim it as my own in the moments when I needed to feel brave, to feel alive, or to feel free and alive. That cliff was my salvation. And she's just so relatable for this. I felt so quickly connected to her as a character, minus the fact that I'm not a princess. I'm poor and my marriage wasn't arranged and I don't live in a castle, but it's more of like, the needing something, anything to call your own without commentary or thoughts from someone else.
Also, I love, the 2 left feet, the situation, because we're so used to FMCs being like great hunters or like being dicey little girls with their freaking knives and being able to do all these things. Odessa can't do shit except she can cliff dive. Well, from what we know now.
Once again, the 2 left feet, I definitely relate since I just told the story of tearing things.
See? It's a callback. We're already doing one. I also feel like if so much of your life was watched and in the shadow of someone else or both of them, Margot and May, needing to just feel something, this would be a way to give you a huge rush. And her comment about the ocean calling her, beckoning her, I found it interesting. Like, do you think she's related to Moana?
Cousin twice removed type of situation for sure. After her quick dip in what I'm sure is a cold ass body of water, she was sneaking around the castle saying, Don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious. She started heading down a deserted gallery. That is a little creepy. The artwork depicts the crux through different generations, which crux are described as massive, eagle like monsters that had flown over Calandra and slaughtered their people.
The meaning of crux is the central most important point. In the Bible, the crux signifies the cross of Christ, which was the pivotal moment in God's plan to reconcile humanity for himself. Took you to church today, too, bitches.
Those in the same sentence.
It's so me.
I'm surprised you weren't like, I took you to fucking church.
I'm honestly surprised, too.
One of the big ass murals had an auburn male crux that had severed a man in two with its enormous beak. Entrails hung from its open mouth. Its talons, sharper than any blade, punctured the heart of a woman, crushed beneath its weight. The male's thick, pointed horns dripped with blood and gore. Wholesome shit. We then get some insight to the god system in this book. So it was written that the old gods, Amma and Oda, created Calandra's animals as gifts to humans, as companions to share in this realm. The mother and father had been proud of their beautiful creations. They'd showered them with praise and glory, but that pride enraged the gods' children, and in a fit of jealousy, the new gods, the six, made animals of their own. The six crafted predators in the image of Calandra's animals, though their variations were far more beautiful, far more powerful, far more deadly. They birthed monsters to serve as a reminder to humans and animals alike that we were fragile and insignificant, and there was no monster more feared than the crux. Sounds like the new gods were a bunch of middle-aged middle child Scorpios. While being balls deep into observing that sweet mural, she rounded a corner and ran into a Voster priest.
I can't help but notice that crux is described as an auburn male. Who else do we have that we know with red hair?
Lucian, back to the autumn court.
Always comes back to the autumn court.
But aside from Odessa, her mother, So something, someone in her lineage, maybe her mom actually mated with a crux.
Maybe. Maybe she's part crux, you know? Also, timeline check in. The last crux was nearly 30 years ago. So we know they happen about every 30-ish years. And then Amma's meeting, it means mother in Hebrew. So she is the mother god, which they call throughout the book. And Oda means praise god. Once again,
She is such a nugget girly.
I know, I love her.
These little tidbits.
Little tidbits, little tid and a bit. Little bit tid.
I was about to say that. So the Voster definition is your of belonging to / associated with you. So I think it's an interesting term for a priest. Priests are for the people. And I feel like there's more to this. Like the Voster, there's more to them.
Mm-hmm.
Sneaky sneaks.
Definitely sneaks things.
So the Voster priest, now we're basically in Voster School. The Voster priest is described as towering frame, a head and bony shoulders above Odessa's own height. He was dressed in burgundy robes, the fabric draped around his lanky body, pulling at his ankles, and feet as bare as my own. The nails on both his fingers and toes were thick and grooved with a dark green tint. Ugh. He had no hair, no eyebrows. It's very Voldemort. And his skin was a chilly, pale white. His hawkish nose rested sharply above his thin, colorless lips, and his eyes that caused a shiver to race down her spine. They were solid, endless pools without pupil, the color the same deep green as his nails. There was an episode of Jenny Jones or Maury or something where people had like outrageous like nails, and I just feel like V-Dog would be on one of the makeover episodes with how he's described. Nobody watched Maury?
No, I actually know exactly what you're talking about, and it kind of scared me a little bit, just our generation and what we watched.
I know I would never let Rowan watch like Jerry Springer or
No,
anything.
we used to watch them, like, remember all the food kinks that people do, and they'd, like, wrestle in there, and we were just, like, sick and home from school watching this shit?
Yeah, people having affairs and stuff is totally normal as an 8-year-old child to watch.
Well, I think it made us funny.
It helped. It helped the trauma.
Mhm. Mhm.
I want to talk about Voster eyes for a minute. And obviously, there's spoilers for the whole book, so let's not forget that. And if you haven't finished this book, please go finish this. But the same deep green of blood we learn about later, like this is suspicious.
It is.
Voster are suspicious.
They definitely are.
I'm going to
And
pass my teaching torch to you.
so we learn that they can't shake the earth or, like, throw balls of fire. Goodness gracious. But they can bend and twist air and water. So on the zodiac sign, they're air and water signs. Their blood magic was used to form breakable bonds, and all of a bunch of bands and translucent skin, green, black eyes, as you said, and they don't cut their fingers and toenails, which I wrote in here, and I see you wrote it later. I was like, wow, reminds me of the world record book.
God, we really do have the same brain.
Okay, I'm not going to talk about it later, but the world record book, do you picture the Scholastic Book Fair and in the Guinness Book of World Records book, when it was there, every kid was like looking at how disgusting these were? Was this
Yeah, you don't buy it, you only look through it.
No, and it was like a whole thing that we all went and looked at. God, I fucking love the book fair.
Because once upon a time, there was actual book fairs where the books were there, not just a little magazine.
Yeah, we had both. But like I loved the fucking book fair. So it's a bit of an ongoing joke that when I read books, like it's the way I picture things is very ridiculous and rudimentary. So my question for you is, Kai, how do you picture the Voster? Because mine's really fucking stupid.
Tall Gollum.
Okay.
Tall Gollum for sure with like green eyes and long nails.
Mine's like worse.
Who are you picturing?
It's so stupid. Like when I was first reading it, I kept on picturing, remember in like the 90s at the same like time frame where aliens were such a thing? And so we had like the alien with
Are
the
you
bit.
picturing when Mars attacks?
No, but just like the character of it, it was just I'll have to throw it up there on Instagram so people can see. But then it's also like a combo of that, and then in episode 1 of Star Wars, I forget what they're called though. Shit. That they
Man, you came so unprepared with these names.
I know, and I feel like I just looked it up. I thought I had it in my head.
I feel like a lot of people are gonna picture Voldemort.
Yeah, just with the
Okay,
no
that's
eye.
really easy association.
I think that's
Bald.
accurate, and then with, like, long fingers that they just trail behind, that's how I also picture. Like, how do they hold their hands? You know?
Okay, so being a millennial, we had YouTube, obviously they still have it.
They do.
Okay, but did you watch Salad Fingers?
No.
Oh my god, okay, so different genre then. There was Fingers, Salad Fingers, and it was like a stupid YouTube cartoon, and, like, it's a bald alien looking thing with, like anyways, that's also how I picture it, like Gollum in that.
Yeah, mine's dumb and doesn't make sense, but I'm gonna throw it up there. I also want to point out that she nearly ran into him. So here's the first example of when touching between the Voster and Odessa could have happened, but didn't.
More on that later.
Hmm.
Immediately, Odessa could feel his magic, and it clearly gives her the ick. She said that humans aren't meant to be this close to magic. It made her nauseous, dizzy, felt like crackling, and like jumping into a bottomless pit. His power scraped along her bare arm as he cocked his head sideways like a bird, held up a finger, and sent the water spinning from her hair and into the shape of a crown above her. Odessa's Dick Dad said the Voster Brotherhood often used their fluid magic to deliver a message, that they manipulated air, water, and blood to make statements. But she wasn't interested in asking, what's the haps with that? Okay, but weird that we get a description of the crux being an eagle like, aka bird like, and then the Voster cocks his head sideways like a bird. Coincidence or something more? Also, let's chat some fucking foreshadowing. A water crown, Devney? Like, nothing suspicious about that at all.
No, not one thing is sus about it.
Odessa hauls ass up the stairs and takes a peek see at Brother V, and he is just gobbling her up with his eyes, furthering her ick feels. V Bros doesn't usually party at the castle, but he did for this meeting with the Turns. Hella suspicious. She makes it into her room, but not without Margot noticing her dress is wet and then starts yapping about being late, even though she isn't yet. She offers for her lady maids to do her a solid and assist, but Margot is a bitch and lets her know that they are off gallivanting elsewhere in the castle. She gets dressed in an ugly ass gray colored dress because for some reason that's all she has. Because personally, I think Margot is a bitch. Margot puts some smelly ass dye in her hair as well. Odessa tries to pawn her stepmonster off on her sister, but her sister is busy practicing adultery and being a skank.
We learn that the Voster are very elusive. Odessa doesn't even know how many make up the Brotherhood. Hundreds, thousands. There's only one book about them, and it's very short. So we don't know. She says hundreds and thousands, but maybe, just maybe, there is only, say, I don't know, six? Totally random number, not something that I'm simmering on. Also, no one knows where these long nailed creeps live. Peculiar? And the first mention of Brielle and Jocelyn. They aren't around to help her, and she assumes they're off spying on the Turns. So it's a nice little throwaway line here that someone might call foreshadowing.
We love a good foreshadow. A
We do.
shadow of four.
Shadow of four. And let's talk about the fucking hair color. Her hair is described as orange, red, copper, and caramel strands, but she's forced to have her hair be brown. Margot tells her it's because it suits her face, but Odessa thinks it's because it reminds her too much of her mother, who, FYI, was her mom's lady maid. So, what's the psychology around that? She doesn't want her husband, who truly loved Odessa's mom, to be reminded that she's an extension of her, but isn't going to color it blonde to match her in May, so she seems otherly. I bet you it's a drab ass mousy brown, too. I bet you it's
I
not.
Oh yeah, there's no way she would do like a nice espresso.
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, she wants to hide her from the world.
Mm-hmm.
I love that Odessa says, like, why is it okay for May to fit in a little fun before this meeting with the Turns, but I was being chastised for a tiny ocean swim? The double standards around this castle were stifling, as if getting dick down and going for a cliff jump are the same.
I just really like Odessa. Like her inner monologue is so funny to me. She's a stiller.
It's relatable.
Hmm.
She's a good female main character.
Hmm.
Good job, Devney.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Margot is being a dick, saying she doesn't know anyone who finds so much trouble and says Odessa could have been eaten by sharks. Odessa is clearly a smartass and says there aren't this aren't any sharks. They aren't this close to shore. Margot then brings up the marrow eels.
Love the wheels.
I love a marrow wheel. Play wagon wheel. Marrow eels and why the terns are there. Odessa asks in her mind, why had they changed habitats? Had the monsters moved inland for food? Was there a new predator driving them toward Roslow's shores? Had the gods created monsters more terrifying than even the crux? And they're all questions I feel like we need to keep in mind. They're not
Interest.
answered in this fucking book, but I feel like there's a reason they're moving.
Interesting that Odessa lives in Roswell and they're coming closer and closer to her.
Interesting point.
Mhm.
A little on marrow eels, not marrow wheels. The monsters were as vicious and cunning as any warrior. They moved with lightning speed, and the rigid bone that protruded from their skull could ram through a ship's frame. Our men had managed to kill some monsters, but not enough. The terrors continued to sink our ships. So they're not nice. They're big. I'm picturing like oarfish, but like with a big bone here.
I need you to know. I need to just admit this right fucking now. I read it marrow wheels the entire book. Entire
I
book.
mean, it could go either way. It makes sense as a marrow eel to me.
It is, I think, marrow eels. And I listened to part of the audio. I read the book, but I'll have to go in. But I literally read it as marrow wheels the entire fucking book in my head. Hmm.
I don't know why, but really every time I read marrow eels, I think of wagon wheel.
Hmm. Shout out
It's
to
just
Chelsea. Play
we really love shouting out Chelsea, wagon wheel, hobbit feet. I just don't want people to forget.
poor swimmer because she's short, you know?
The whole marrow eel sitch needs to be corrected ASAP before the crux migration starts happening. Lucky for them, the Terrans 86 six from life and hung them as decor at the docks. Margot then goes on about seeing Odessa's betrothed. I'm saying it betrothed, I don't
Mhm.
care. And that Banner gossiped about the Guardian showing up with the Terrans too. The Guardian, who is described as a man rumored to be more vicious and deadly than any creature crafted by the gods. So we know he's a daddy already. I knew immediately the Guardian would be DTF at some point. Margot is over assisting Odessa and tells her to wrap it up and get to the throne room. She puts on her crown on, the only thing of color she would be wearing, and of course, she was late. Type B. Through and through.
Definitely. So we get a little bit more backstory on the politics of the kingdoms with the not marrow wheels, but eels fucking up the trade routes. There is worry that Lane, Genesis, Ozarth, and Turah will take it as an insult that the grain they harvested and sold to them is suddenly MIA and it's an invitation for war, which is not acceptable, especially with the damn crux coming. Now was the time for all kingdoms to stockpile their resources. The ships that were loaded with wheat, corn, and barley couldn't go missing because they have already been bartered for weapons. So it makes you wonder, did they already get the weapons but they're not getting their shipment? Something that we'll obviously be talking about later due to what we know about that in like a chapter. But that's just something to think about. And then the rumors about the Guardian. Isaac incarnate, the god of death, had grown tired of his throne and disguised himself as a man to torment humankind for amusement. Others said he has been gifted his powers by the old gods themselves. Just some interesting tidbits or bits of tid in here. Plus, trying to keep track of all the gods that we know, Kareem the peaceful one, and now we have Isaac the god of death.
So there was hundreds of sparkling amber jewels in her crown, and I want to know what everyone else's crowns look like in the fam. Like, did she get like the shitty bootleg one, or like is hers really special to her and her red hair?
I don't know. What would you want your crown to look like?
Really great question. It would be gold for sure. I feel like I would need like a circlet or something
Mm,
because I would drop it and break it.
yeah.
Like being realistic, I'm not graceful, so
Yeah. They might have caught on to that after chapter one.
fuck you. What would your crown look like?
I think gold for me. Maybe blue because it's my favorite color. Some blue,
Blue
some
gems.
aquamarine in there. I don't know. I'm also a Taurus, so emerald might have that as well. That's a good question. I want to see what I'm going to start looking for crowns I'd want for life.
We should just have crowns because, like, why not?
Chapter 3. Odessa walked through the side entrance of the throne room. Her father didn't look up, but definitely noticed she was late. Margot and May were removed from the group of men looking polished and perfect. She couldn't help but wonder if she looked like her mother. She doesn't remember her because she died when she was a baby, and her father had all of her portraits removed from the halls. She doesn't. She does know she has the same hair as her because of how often stepmonster Margot cursed her for it.
I'm curious if there was a different reason that Margot and her dad, like, removed all the portraits. Was it just because Odessa reminded her of her mom, or is there some, like, more nefarious reason?
Mm-hmm. It's something I think we'll be exploring.
There's so much that we have to revisit. By we, I mean Devney. Please write all this in there because we're asking questions. Like, we just didn't get enough info in this damn book.
No, it was a really good set. It was a lot, so many hooks in this book. That's a really big setup book for sure, but like entertaining.
Incredible first book, like, such a great start. I know we've already talked about the rating, but god damn, it's so good.
So good.
God
Oh,
damn.
damn. 5 turns who are apparently big bitches in stature, not not attitudes, stood shoulder to shoulder.
Behemoth.
They had a shit ton of weapons and looked like they were ready for battle and not Din Din. Her father addressed the room by telling them he's thankful for their service in taking down the 6 marrow eels and for doing it so quickly. A guy with a braided beard was like, "No bigs, we just did what you hired us to do," with a tone of condescension. And then the doors flew open with guards carrying a big ass chest that had a shit ton of coin in it. A big guy with braids went and inspected it and asked His Highness if he should count it, which, FYI, Xavier, May's soon to be husband, was there. What a little shocky shock.
I don't trust King Cross, which, by the way, like, I always think of King's Cross
Right, I do too.
Station. So, I liked the sassiness from the sexy warriors, like, I'm assuming they were all attractive. I feel like secretive societies, like, they tend to be hotties,
I think that is a fair assumption. And
you
it's
know?
such a power move to suggest counting it. Like, bitch, we don't fucking trust you, is what it's saying. And I love it.
I God, I don't trust King Cross at all, and I just am curious if he's gonna have a redemption arc or he's just gonna suck the whole time.
I guess we,
I bitch about kings later, so don't worry.
I saw it. The king was like, "Yeah, no need. Every bit we agreed to is in there." The bearded warrior was like, "Okay, but what if the price we agreed to is no longer enough?" The king is like, "Ugh, okay, what's your new price?" And now the main doors opened, and the Voster priest she had a run in with, and another one who floats followed him. The sting of their magic was instant to poor little Odessa. And oh, we're not done with surprise entrances. A man who entered next didn't look like a god incarnate. He didn't appear to be a ghost. He was tall and broad like the Turans, muscled to the point of distraction. His chocolate brown hair tickled the tops of his shoulders, and his chiseled jaw was covered in a short beard of the same shade. At first glance, he was just a man. Striking, intimidating, but still just a man. Yet, his irises didn't have the typical Turin green starburst. They were solid, molten silver, liquid metal, the Guardian.
See? Haughty.
Mhm. And we know that if any author is describing the enemy like this, we're like, okay,
Haughty with the naughty body is going to fuck later.
he's getting down, that chiseled jaw, into it.
Ugh, Guardian can take me to Pound Town, I'm
No,
sure.
for sure.
Question for you.
Hmm.
Do Voster give you Venom vibes?
I think the Voster probably used to be an MLM, but are now moving to the affiliate model, just to get with the times.
That's fair. I mean, there are a lot of different MLMs out there, and they all have
They're
to, like, change.
they're not created equal, so but yes, Secret Society, Venin, Voster, both start with V. Mhm.
I think it's, like, the robes and the coloring for
Ve
me, like, Brother Voster is in green, so he's, like, an initiate, and then Boss is burgundy because he's, like, the maiden. He's higher up, so he can, like, float instead of walk, and he has, like, those nasty ass nails like curled ribbons. I just well, 1, the Boss needs a Manny. 2, yeah, they give me Venom vibes, even though they don't look like it in my mind at all.
no, they don't. So Venin to me looks more in my head like Voldemort, but, like, obviously with the webbing and everything. I mean, the higher up ones and
See, I picture them as hotties too because, Theophany, like, I'm sure she was hot at one point, but hello, Xaden,
yeah,
he's a fucking Venom and he's a hottie.
so
Hottie is my word choice today. I don't even use that.
Kylie does a word of a day calendar, and today was haughty.
Tomorrow it's behemoth.
And well, maybe we'll get to betrothed or betrothed one day.
Maybe we'll learn how to say it. One day I'm gonna learn how to speak and I'm gonna blow all these bitches'
Fuck
minds.
yeah, I love that for you.
Blow a hot load right over your mind. Somebody said that to me when I was working at PacSun one time, and I just never have an excuse to use it, so
Thank you for that.
it
Well,
happened.
I hope
Thank you,
that
Jason.
it's a chain reaction, and now our listeners will now say it. Like, can you imagine them saying that to their husbands, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
I clenched my clam, and then she blew a hot load over me.
It's
It all
educational
we come full
podcast.
circle. So, anyway, it's weird that she could tell the difference in Voster power. Like, VB had stronger and sharper power. He looked at Odessa for just a moment, like, "What do you know, Voss Boss?"
And they said that the Voss, his magic was the sound of a siren singing you to sleep before they swallowed you whole.
Interesting monster reference, Devney.
Perry.
It's really because she ends in an E, so it's really fun to say her name, like, in such a snotty way. That's why why I'm like,
Oh,
Blakely,
you love
Devney.
Kylie.
Exactly.
So the king started pandering to the Turins, which was weird. And then the floating Voster was like, before we begins, let's do some introductions and team building exercises. All the big ass Turins look at Margot and May beside the Guardian, who is looking at her instead. They walk towards the prince, who is soups pretty, but very unimpressed to meet his bride. The king says, "This is my daughter May. In accord with the Shield of Sparrows, she is to be your bride on the autumnal equinox in 3 months' time." The Guardian is like, cool, but actually, not her. Prince Xavier will marry her tonight as the bride price for killing your marrow wheels. No, not eels.
He's just in there. Fuck you. Fuck you. You're cool. You're it.
What's funny is I picture Shoop, salt and pepper. No, not you. You, the bold legged one.
I'm glad that we have the same brain, but so different.
Mhm. This is a different type of spicy, but the same.
I want to know why King Cross is so weird to the Turins. Like, what do you know? My question constantly, what do you know?
Tell us. Devney.
Call me. I need to know these things. It's eating me alive.
I know someone who I'd allow to eat me alive.
The Guardian. Do we think the Guardian has some ability to mind speak? He's always in the know.
I don't know, but LOL at Odessa. Can he read minds? If he can, go away, please and thank you.
I love that she was polite. Like, shout out to
Mhm.
her. It's the nicest that she
It
got
was.
that entire interaction.
And back to little eye school. Just ending the chap with we learned that the Turins have a green starburst in their eye.
Not to be confused with the candy, the shape of a
Mhm.
starburst. Chapter 4.
Chap 4.
Oh shit. Imagine being in the throne room after that announcement. Hard act to follow. hard act to follow up after picking a different daughter for a wife. Margot is clearly pissed off having a death grip on our girl's arm, but that didn't hold a candle to finding out she was getting married ASAP and not to her betrothed. The silence, intense. The tension, thicker than a male main character's throbbing member. Margot could use a margarita because she says there must be some mistake. Papa King is like, no, no other words. If he said no like that to me, I would crawl into my own butthole and die. You know, it wasn't nice. Like, too firm for me. The tone was too firm. Like, we like firm other things,
Yeah.
not a.
I don't like a firm tone from a man.
Don't tell me no.
No. But like sometimes do. But don't ever. You know?
No, never tell me no.
No,
I'm
yeah,
not
you don't
interested
do
in
that.
that. Ryan can. I'm not a no girl.
God, me and Ryan, we're so alike sometimes. We learned about a new god, though. So this is god number 3, Farius, the god of mischief, aka Loki. Roll call. We got Peaceful Kareen, Isaac of Death, and now mischievous Farius.
Hold on. Banner tries to put his 2 cents in with, she's my fiance. We all know you fucking suck, flag boy. This makes the Guardian giggle. He's just like us, a giggling gal. Everyone else, not giggling. Yikes on bikes. Odessa manages to say jackass out loud, and everyone clutched their pearls. Papa King tries to Uno reverse this decision by trying to sell May as his bride, but still says, if you wish to forego the planned festivities of the equinox, then we will arrange for your union tonight. Odessa was waiting for someone to object, but there was no objections. Instead, she ended up in a staring contest with that slutty looking guardian who smirked in return. He technically won because after that smirk, she looked over at new boo, Xavier, who was just hella stoic.
Odessa would be friends with her boy Riddick. She has a hard time keeping inside thoughts inside.
Oh God, they should not hang out, but they should because they'd be really
It would
funny
be funny.
together.
Could you imagine if you're supposed to be like quiet and those two next to each other?
No. There'd be no inside voices.
No. No, I feel like Odessa could totally hang out with Quest Squad.
Yeah, they would be
Mhm.
friends for sure. They wouldn't even bully her because she has no magic.
Mm-mm.
She would for sure land a dragon first round.
Oh, for sure. I mean, she's already loves to fly.
Yeah, so she would do good.
Mhm.
So just to track eye color, here's where we're at. We have Banner, who's got brown with the amber starburst. Odessa, solid gold, no starburst. The King, caramel eyes flecked with gold. No mention of a starburst. I would assume he has it
Yeah.
though. Guardian, silver, gray, brown, green, lots of colors. Voster, solid green, no people. The Turin have green starbursts. Quentis has amber starbursts. Oh, Margot's eyes, ocean blue, amber
And
starbursts. We
I
don't.
think May's the same because they say the
Yeah, because they're one and the
yeah,
same, but they're bitches.
copy and paste.
Yes. Flagboy tries yet again with "She is mine," but he doesn't give a care about Odessa. He gives a care about his link to the royal fam, since he is clearly a social climber. The Guardian doesn't give any cares about Flagboy because he says, she was yours. Now, she belongs to the prince. She'll satisfy both the bride prize and the treaty. She'll be our queen. All this sounds hella boring to Odessa. Flagboy tries arguing again, but the king pulls out the rule book with the Shield of Sparrows treaty stipulates a daughter of the king's choosing. As I am the only king in this room, the choice is mine. You will wed May, she is a sparrow, and you will be given the gold we have promised for your assistance with the mare wheels, which gives us our first look at what the Shield of Sparrows is. Which, how awful for Odessa to just have to listen to people barter over her while her sister and stepmom are pissed. Like, shitty situation, man. Just all around.
Mhm. And just a little commentary. I absolutely knew also that the Guardian would be DTF not only by his description and chiseled jaw, but his interactions with Flag Boy, because I almost have a kink when it comes to smiling and smirking at people when they hate you. It actually reminds me of a little story of my husband. I'm just going to tell it really quick. I have to speak in code. So I promise my husband's not a douchebag, but we come from a town that's very small. So the two things that you do is you drink and you fuck, which is why we're all Eskimo sisters over here. John, looking at you, shouty. John, when he described this story to me, he said, I don't know. He was like 21, 22. He was like, I was just going through a bit of a headbutting phase which, what a sentence, because he's in his 20s. And somebody didn't like him that I happened to date. And this was before me and John or anything, so it has nothing to do with me. But John went up and headbutted this person. And this ex of mine was like super strong. He had like weird strength that you wouldn't expect. So he punches John. And John was, each time that he punched him, he would whip his head back and smile at him. That person would punch him again, and he'd just keep on smiling. It's one of my favorite stories because I'm like, well,
Went through a bit of a headbutting.
I went through a bit of a headbutting phase. Like, who says that?
We all go through it.
But like, if I know somebody doesn't like me and I walk by them, I always like smile.
You're not gonna headbutt.
I don't. I'm not going through a headbutting phase. Which
Not today. Maybe next week.
like, what a fucking toddler just went through a bit of a headbutting phase. Just at a party, goes up to him because he doesn't like him and headbutts him.
I'm sorry, just the whole headbutting phase, like
Just that's how he described it to me.
I don't know that I can finish this episode after
It's going through a bit of a headbutting phase. Welcome. You're welcome for that, Kai.
Boss Boss chooses this moment to put his 2 cents in, telling the party that King Cross is rightsies. But this is where it gets tricky. So there's the treaty, which requires a daughter be given to another kingdom each generation. Her father has the right to choose which daughter. But then you have the bride prize for the marrow eels. 7 were caught, not 6. So according to the chain of 7s, the prince can demand a bride prize. In this economy, the prince was just being resourceful, like a twofer, if you will. The king tried to offer gold, but where's the fun in that? What everyone thought was a legend is not. The chain of 7s is 7 lives in a chain. Long ago, before the 5 kingdoms, the land and seas were overrun by monsters. To regain control, the ruling lords made a decree. Any warrior who risked their life against the beast would be granted a prize of their choosing if they returned with the heads of 7 slain females from the species. As with all treaties, the chain of 7s was sealed with our magic to alter the chain of life. Killing 7 females will break the chain. Break it in enough places, and it holds no strength. So I guess that's that. Wrong. The king is like, that shit is archaic. You will take me. So 7 is a pretty significant number with a lot of meanings. It can mean perfection or completion. The number 7 is connected to intuition, wisdom, growing, self-awareness, spiritual revelations, and big shifts that can have a positive impact on your life. It's a number that serves as a bridge or connection between our mortal realm and higher places, which, connecting that to the story, big shifts in life, marrying a prince instead of a flag with words is a pretty big shift. A bridge or connection to our mortal realm, higher places. Just saying, there's 8 gods in this story, and I have a feeling they're going to play a bigger part.
I agree. 8 gods. We have 5 kingdoms, but it's the chain of 7. So it's like the 5 kingdoms. We know we have a god of hell, right? God of death, maybe. What's up there?
Is that mom and dad?
Maybe. Amma and Oda.
Their kid that's god of death is probably the redheaded stepchild.
Mm-hmm. He's super punk rock. Like, he's like, I'm the black sheep of my family. But you kept saying chain multiple times in there, so then I started singing The Chain by Fleetwood Mac the whole time you were not singing. I was singing in my head, so I just wanted you to know.
Thank you.
Great song.
So never fuck with treaties because it started to get real cold in there. Boss dropped to his feet instead of floating, and his magic was filling the room, and it did not feel good on Odessa. They were slowly freezing to death thanks to Father Vodog. Everyone started to realize he was pretty serious. It turns out Father Voster sealed the 7s with his own magic and the blood of ancient kings, and the king needs to watch his little whore mouth. King Cross apologizes.
The head button really fucked you up, but keep going.
Really ruined me. King Cross apologizes to the high priest, and that is what really shocks Odessa. The HBIC of Voster peeps, HDIC if you would, if they have a penis. Everyone thought he was dead, but turns out nah, he just loves a grand appearance. Grand entrance? Jesus Christ. Looks like Odessa has no choice but to be the prince's bride for Shield of Sparrows and Chain of 7s. Holy shit, that was so hard for me.
Oh, we know.
Chain of Sevens makes me laugh because I read it, and it's only in this book. I read it as Monica Geller yelling seven, and I know I've made references to that scene before, but like, God, it's wild for this book because every time, seven.
Agreed. That was a journey that you went through. A long journey, just like Odessa's name. That's what that was.
You're not going to tell us what Voster means?
Well, sure. Take a little Voster edition school, or School of Voster. The edition is added.
Mini lesson?
Yep, that's what I wanted. Lesson. Let's have a lesson, folks.
With one sentence.
We find out that they're long-lived, but not immortal. So you can kill these bitches, and they'll black up in this bitch, all right?
You want to know how most Voster die?
How?
They go through a headbutting phase.
Oh, God. For the people that are just getting to know us and listening to this podcast, welcome.
They're in for a fucking ride.
Ride of their life. Chapter 5. Well, chappy chap. Cinco. I wanted to say diez 5 times.
We're not there yet.
No. Okay. Chapter 5. The Voster did a little water show. Prince Xavier nodded to the Voster bros and then turned towards the door. The Guardian followed suit. When they left, the king pleaded to his Voster emissary, whose name is Brother Dime, BT Dubs, that something must be done. May is to be the turn queen. Odessa isn't capable. Ouch. Brother Dime walked towards her and said, "This is your fortune, child," and his spindly little fingers extended, but she shied away from letting him touch her, which Dime thought was peculiar. Second time, the Voster had a chance to touch her, and he didn't.
The spindly fingers really are giving salad fingers. You say did a little water show like he's a fucking toddler.
Well, now I'm just picturing my picture of Voster and then Mickey Mouse doing Phantasmic. You know?
Yes.
Okay.
The robe and everything.
Yeah, totally. See?
So Brother Dime is his name. Does that mean like potentially there's 10 of them? Was he once a sexy daddy dime piece? This book just sparks so many questions. The really important ones, like was he hot at one point?
Yeah. Did
he have a six-pack?
Mm-hmm.
Is he a Ken doll? Does he have some goods? How does he pee?
Bounce a dime off that ass? Like, we have questions.
So they say it sounds like she's lucking out. Like, it doesn't have to be ominous. Like, girlfriend will finally get out of her gray attire.
Mm-hmm.
Be excited. I'd be thrilled. Like, fuck my family.
Okay, with gray, black and white, and she's in the gray area. So maybe she's not quite a god, but related. She's in the gray.
She's part human, part god. And so, yeah, in the gray area.
She's in the gray area. But I don't think that's why. But I just was...
No corporate speak for Miss Perry.
No.
Mrs.?
Mrs. She's married with kids. Odessa collapsed on the floor and prayed to the 8 gods. Banner, not impressed. The Gold King, apparently is his nickname, due to his blonde hair, caramel eyes, flecked with some golden shade, as the golden chest plus amber starburst was like, I mean, you heard the high priest, dude. Okay, so we do get he did have.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was like, if it did happen or not.
Well, we know he did, but we wanted the proof.
We would assume, but
we wanted proof.
Yeah.
The Gold King told everyone to get out so the fam can have a little chit-chat. Once they were alone, May had a knife to Odessa's throat, asking her, "What did you do?" Totes normal cis behavior. Cis behavior? I don't know what that is. Fuck me. Odessa tells her she has no idea why Prince Xavier wants her. Maybe he doesn't like blondes, which causes May to lunge at her, but dear old dad puts a stop to it. He questions her about if she had ever met him and her whereabouts of the day. He lied about her cliff diving hobby and told him she went for a little hikey hike and a little swimmy swim. And then she bumped into Brother Dime outside the gallery. Now I'm just picturing with the big ass. The Crux gallery, to be exact, which your dad apparently doesn't like your curiosity with that haul.
The image that just came to mind for him is like Reno 911. Like he's wearing like hot pants with thick ass. Like that's what I'm picturing. We are objectifying these men,
Oh,
and they deserve it.
I don't feel bad about that at all.
Flag Boy stomping his foot fucking set me because I was just picturing, Legally Blonde. I almost said illegally blonde. Legally Blonde, where, he's like, "Don't stomp your last season Prada shoes at me, honey."
He stayed silent, trying to catch her in a lie, and then he said, "I'm sorry, Des," which was shocking considering he hasn't called her that in years, and she's never heard him apologize. But he said again, "I'm sorry that you must do this. Put the bride prize aside. We can't piss off the Turns with a refusal, and we can't break the Shield of Sparrows, especially with the crux right around the corner. May was supposed to go, but now it's your turn, baby girl." I don't know. I can't figure out her dad. Like, did he turn soft all of a sudden to get his way and manipulate her into what he needed from her? I mean, they say if a king refused to give his daughter to another king, the father would die. The fact that he is named the Gold King is giving Midas vibes, so I don't like him.
Maybe that's why I just immediately
Yeah,
don't trust him, like, no, thank you. But, I mean, I don't trust him, like, kings are always shifty sons of bitches, like, Midas included. I think it was a manipulation tactic for fucking sure.
yeah.
And, Odessa's thinking if a king refused to give his daughter to another king, then the father would die. To my knowledge, no man has ever chosen his daughter over himself. And I just feel like no man isn't a throwaway line, and we're going to learn something about her mom choosing her or something along those lines.
I know that kids have nightmares, but the fact that she would wake up screaming from a nightmare, and it sounds like it happened the way that she wrote it, like semi frequently as a child, makes me wonder what was causing those nightmares and what she was seeing. Like, if there's a bit of trauma, she saw something with her mom, and then that's why the dad was comforting. Because it is surprising that the dad, a king, would comfort his child, who he obviously seems like a real hands off dad.
Yeah.
But maybe he
I
want a lady maid to be doing that, or a nurse.
She definitely was having nightmares because of her sleep paralysis demon, Ramona walking the runway. It's my sleep paralysis demon for fucking sure. Take us to school, Blake.
Okay. So just a little Shield of Sparrow school. The first bride's name had been Sparrow, hence the treaty's name and why the woman offered every generation had since been called the Sparrow. Her father, the Turin king, had given her as a bride to his sworn enemy, the Genesis king. The obligation of the 5 kingdoms is to offer a king or future king and a sparrow of every generation. Lane and Ozarth were the last one. Then we're going to move into the 5 kingdoms resource specialty. Just so we all know, just a little fun facts, little FFs. Lane, spices and gold. Turah, lumber. Ozark, iron. Quintus, crops and cattle. And Genesis, oil. So essentially, the Shield of Sparrows was his trade agreement. And since this started, all wars that were commonplace amongst the kingdoms halted. You could not be at war with ourselves and the crux at the same time. Crux school. The crux would black out the skies for months. Thousands and thousands of beating wings blocking out the sun, livestock, crops, and harvests, cities annihilated and destroyed. So since SOS started, the 5 kingdoms have endured and they had survived 9 migrations. And we go off 9 times 30. That's about 270 years. And this next one is the 10th. Odessa would be the 10th, making 300 years.
Damn, bitch, getting that math, getting your fucking graphic calculator out for this.
I actually did use a calculator. So, just FYIs. Just little tidbits I gave you. Bits of tid for your back pocket. So Dad's like, I need you to find a way into Alisaria, the capital, before summer's end, and then send word on how to infiltrate the city. Also, sending your lady maids with you, and you can send them back with intel. Alisaria is the priority, and also learn everything you can about the Guardian and his powers, and find a way to kill him. No bit. Odessa's like, hold up. Did you plan this whole thing? He's like, basically, yeah. We have been trying for decades to find the way into Alisaria, and I need it ASAP because if the crux migrate earlier, I am shit out of luck. The Gold King apparently wants something in that city, and that thing is the only thing that can stop the crux. And he's giving Odessa 0 deets about it. But he isn't worried about treaties because he says they can be broken and he doesn't necessarily need to die. His master plan was gambling that the prince would come to the meeting and he could convince him to speed up the wedding under the guise of trade routes, and then May would set sail with him this summer. Avi, things didn't go as planned, and damn May is a bitter Betty, but she was dismissed. Odessa tries to say that she can't do it, but her father is like, "But you will. Repeat your orders. Do it, and I will bring you home." And then tells the stepmonster to get her ready for the wedding. So I just want to point out that he got gold from other kingdoms for crops that he didn't actually send to them, because the boats, we find out, didn't actually disappear. So is he stockpiling the crops for himself and his kingdom to ice everybody out?
I feel like he's doing something along those
Mhm.
lines. He is shifty as fuck. I mean, the question I'm going to be asking for the next year, like, what is in that city? Why sneak in and not ask to band together with the other kings and like ambush them that way? Like, how is he so confident that treaties can be broken? Like, why can't he just answer some damn questions? Is by not fulfilling like his orders essentially to the other kingdoms, like a way around this treaty?
See, I don't know. And also, he said that he'd been trying to get in there for decades. So since the last
How?
one, and why? What caused it to make him want to get in there? I mean, he married her mom.
We have to wait, and I'm not okay with
I
this.
know.
Now I'm pissed again.
Sorry.
I won't talk to you for another day after this.
Okay.
I like how the king is like, spy and kill some people. Trust me. Now go get married. Bye bye. Like, he's not a complete fucking psychopath. I think he is a psychopath.
He's a king.
Yeah, we don't. They're shifty motherfuckers.
And if the treaties are blood oath and made with the fastest growing affiliate marketing team, the Voster Magic, how could the treaties be broken? Kill the Voster?
I'm just picturing them on a basketball team, like with a water ball. The Voster Magic. It's their sports team, you know. It's how they team.
Yeah. So they're like the Harlem Globetrotters, but like
They're just doing sick tricks.
sick tricks. Well, they like have wind and air and water, so they're water shows.
Juggling.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Um,
Yeah, they are the Harlem
the
Globetrotters.
Globetrotters.
The Globetrotters of this world.
Mm-hmm. You
Love a good
fake juggling was though giving me D'Angelo from The Office, and that's there's so many shows going on in this. Can't help.
The amount of references we've made is intense.
So Starburst School, because I'm just taking everybody to school back to back to back. Magic rooted deep and claimed tinged our irises at birth. It's those starbursts linking us forever to a place. No matter where we lived, where we moved, the one color was unchanging. Unchanging. Example, all Quentins had an amber starburst. Turns are green, but Odessa's eyes were solid gold, not a starburst in sight. Odessa tried asking her dad as a kid, but he never answered that question. So obviously, she doesn't belong to the damn Quentins because she's a free bird flying.
She doesn't belong
No,
anywhere. She's lacking a starburst. Maybe she wasn't born there
no, and maybe
at all.
she flies.
Maybe she was born in the sky with the gods, with mom and dad,
This
and that's why her eyes are
this
gold.
is just giving Onyx Storm.
I know, because we are moving more into the gods with that story as well, which I'm
So excited.
into.
Mm-hmm. So the gods signed the 8, Alma and Oda, and their 6 children. Just a little tidbit. Killing it with talking. You're welcome. Moving it right along. Chapter 20. We're just going to skip 14 chapters. Go ahead.
It was all that headbutting. Chapter 6, not 20.
Mm-hmm.
Margot is a huffin' and puffin', and not puffin' the magic dragon either, just straight up being a butthole. No dresses are blue enough for her, but Dubby, you literally only let her wear gray. You can only be mad at yourself. Which, blue is clearly their traditional wedding shade, since she's saying she doesn't have the traditional wedding dress color, which they did say it.
Yeah.
Odessa was scrubbed and cleaned. Margot so kindly reminded her that she will need to buy more hair dye. Prince Xavier bargained for a brunette wife, so she needs to uphold that look. What a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
And then plus the hair dye is stinky.
No. What an
I like, ugh, that's like the worst part of it for
I
me.
keep on
Ew.
picturing the smell of like perm smell,
With a little like hint of fish.
which I think perm smell does have a little fish is fishy.
I haven't smelt perm stuff since Armenia permed my birth mom's hair once upon a time at home.
I'm sure that turned out great.
Exactly like you think it would.
Mm-hmm. I'm picturing Leslie Knope when she decided to perm her hair and then jumps in the pool and then it's half done.
Yes. You should not trust Armenia with your hair.
No.
I feel like once again I can relate to Odessa because like moving back from Hawaii with just a suitcase when she said her life fit into these three trunks. I told you I relate to her. Odessa's just a likable
I
gal
love how we both moved back from Hawaii with just a suitcase.
in none of our
None of
things.
our things. Never gone back either.
Yearbook.
Nope.
The dress Brielle chose is pretty much white, which is what they wear to funerals. So Odessa snatched that shit so fast and changed into it. She doked.
Doped.
She joked about May being able to stab her in the back without fabric being in the way. So Margot told her not to be dramatic. That is when they heard shit breaking in the next room over, and I'm sure Limp Bizkit break stuff was playing. Margot then kicks Brielle out and starts talking about the birds and the bees. After Brielle left, Odessa thought, when we'd gotten engaged, I'd wonder if Banner would want to have sex before marriage. But Brielle had told me that he had a lover in the city, a woman he'd known for years. And damn, Devney, the foreshadowing, like, fuck.
I keep
That's a good one.
on thinking about how our hand ladies were out playing Secret Spy. Like it's common knowledge, which makes me think that this is just something you're expected to do if you're in this role. So if when Margot was her mom's, what did she find while spying, or what did she say she found?
Great point, which comes back to like, is this part of the reason why her portraits were removed
Mm-hmm.
and she colors her hair, not just because Odessa reminds her of her mom, but because Margot knows something. Because Margot is an excessive bitch.
She's a shifty motherfucker.
I don't trust her
Mm.
either. The Cross family, they're all shifty.
She may wear transitional lenses.
For sure.
Mhm.
Odessa is quick to tell her that she has been with a man already. Next topic. But Margot wanted to keep going about men and their needs and how she doesn't want to look like she has ulterior motives. She thought because a prince who was being fucked regularly became a fool, possibly in Genesis or Ozarth or Lane or even Quentis. But I doubted Xavier was like other princes, not with his heritage. Apparently, Turah is very secretive. They held up their obligations for trade and commerce, but only just. When it came to extending alliances, building relationships, and fostering unity, Turah might as well be a closed door. The Crux decimated their capital, and so the king moved their stronghold into the mountains, Alisaria. No ruler has been, and it's not on maps. Everyone that goes looking never returns. Dun, dun, dun.
So I could definitely be a Turin. Very Sikhs don't want alliances. But I want to point out that I do believe that men that are fucked regularly are fools. You can get away with a lot if you're fucking a lot, ladies. So educational podcast. You're welcome.
Power of the pussy, man. It's not the first time we've said this.
No,
The power of the pussy part specifically.
but it tracks. So keep fucking.
What there's some like saying about keep him like fucked and fed or
Right.
whatever. So what if Alisaria is like really a city of gods of some sort? Like God, we know nothing by the end of the book still. So really like anything is possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we take the name and break it up, Al is the name of Greek origin and is a softer version of the name Alexandra. It means man's defender and is traditionally attributed to girls. And it also means noble. Saria is a feminine moniker with Hebrew and Arabic roots, meaning princess in clouds coming in the night. I think that's an interesting name because Alisaria is not anywhere on the internet. So we break it down. That's how I guessed it would be broken down.
I think it's a very interesting point. Thank you for taking us to Alisaria School.
I don't know that it's a city of the god. That's like a wild theory that
I
I
don't
don't
really think it's
believe,
that
but
wild, though. I think that tracks like that's possible.
like the gods live there or something of the sort, or maybe that's, like, the city to get to the gods, like,
Mm,
there's where the fucking stairs are to heaven.
just Led
Stairway, you know?
Zeppelin.
The references, they're out of control. Margot went to tell King Cross that the bride was ready spaghetti. After she left, Odessa went to her secret spot where she hid her goods. Nothing fun like drugs, just a necklace that she found 13 years prior and a sketch pad. The necklace was a wing of silver inlaid with a circle of gold, except it wasn't gold. The hue was red and orange and as bright as the harvest moon. She had no idea what the symbol was, though. The pendant warmed immediately when on her skin and absorbed her body's heat faster than gold or silver. This is definitely not the last of this necklace. I bet it was her mom's.
100%.
Like, this necklace is the key to something.
Yes, I agree. It definitely was her mom's. I think it's a huge key. In some fantasy worlds, something can feel warm if it has magic in it. Usually that would mean that that person and that magic were compatible. And interesting that the Voster magic is kind of cold to her. And the coloring, harvest moon, like something you would see during a fall equinox, perhaps. And why a wing? So maybe Odessa choosing to fly or not is no coincidence and possibly a shadowing of the four.
See, that wasn't just a throwaway, that word fly. Imagine if it is, and we're just reading way too much into this, but I do think, like, they go hand in hand. Something is going on with Odessa in that sky.
Mm. So the sketch that Devney decided to tell us was a sketch of Margot being sad after getting in a fight with her father. There is no reason to tell us this unless she wants to convey that there may be cracks in this marriage, and it makes you wonder what would someone do if they were desperate or sad enough. Thinking about you, Margot.
It's giving they are like, it's more of like a contract marriage. Like, she's giving him something, and so he's staying married to her because he's married to her because she knows.
Something, and I think the reason for if her mom is dead, 86 from life or not, Margot has something to do with it.
I agree.
Mhm.
She's shifty.
Shifty motherfucker.
She's suspicious, if you will.
Mhm.
May is done with her bitch fit and pops in to see her sister. They have a little moment about missing each other in a forced hug, and then we learn her brother's name is Arthelaus. They talk about how May will probs need to marry Banner now for loyalty and whatnot. Thank God Odessa didn't sleep with them, so they will never become Eskimo sisters, just blood. May sweetens the moment, telling her not to return unless she's got the info and that she will make an awful spy. Spoiler alert, she does. They get an I love you in before her dad walks in to do a weird ass ritual where he cuts his daughter's hand and then collects the blood in a vial for ink later. She glances outside and wishes she would have been like Dory and just kept swimming.
Okay, so this is my stupid brain because the last paragraph of her thinking, should she have swam away or let the marrow eels eat her, reminded me of the fairy episode on Grey's Anatomy, where I felt like Grey officially jumped the shark for me when Meredith is just sinking.
This is
No,
Odessa.
this is Odessa. It's her Meredith moment in her head.
I could see that.
And I thought the vial of ink was giving Angelina Jolie back in the day. Billy
Oh, when
Bob.
she had Billy, yeah.
Mhm. And I think
Yeah.
May have been, like, in her past has gone through a headbutting phase.
She's got to train in
Yeah.
all
Oh,
aspects, like headbutting. Like, who suspects
you
that in a
never see it
fight?
coming, you know? Chapter 7. Top 7. So, they're in the castle sanctuary, which is stuffy and hot. Need you to know that I picture the Slave for You video with Britney Spears being stuffy and hot. So I don't think that was happening with the Voster priestess, but that's just what I picture. And it was built into rock so people can worship the gods during the migration. The two Voster priests were standing at the altar, which their magic instantly is pinpricking her skin. She was not looking forward to being around it for 3 hours, but fear not, no ceremony, just a marriage decree and signing of the treaty. Essentially, it's a courthouse wedding, guys. Des was a little bit disappointed for some reason, and she was also dreading their wedding night.
Why are the clerics not fond of the sun? Like, that's weird to me. Like, they don't mind light, but specifically sun.
I think
Are they vampire?
they're avoiding the aging process.
That's true. They don't wanna look like a fucking tortilla. Like, I get it.
This the line, "Keep the candles constantly going so they never be lost to Oda's gaze," not a throwaway line.
No. Like, it is such an interesting little line. Like, what happens if the candle goes out and they don't relight it? But imagine if, like, every time that they light it, a candle, like, a crux is born and they were actually ruining shit themselves. It's like, "Oops, sorry,
And
guys."
then I also think about Disneyland and how they always keep Walt's candle lit, the light lit, you know?
They're just lighting one for each homie that passes.
They don't pour one out for the homies, they light up. Little stony balonies.
You know? They gotta do something in the dark. That's fun. Can you blame them?
No. The Turns walked in. May told her that sending her was a suicide mission. The Guardian was the last to stroll in, and the fucker looked at Odessa and smirked. Odessa was summoned to the front to sign the treaty. They would sign with their blood, and the Voster would seal it with their magic. She read the decree where it explained the history of the treaty, the obligation of the five kingdoms to offer a king or future king and a sparrow every generation. The first bride's name was Sparrow, hence the treaty's name. Unclear if it's related to Captain Jack. The treaty had trade obligations and it forbid kingdoms from invading one another. Plus, the king cannot kill the sparrow and the sparrow cannot kill her king, either directly or indirectly without death befalling them both. So basically, the magic would off them if they tried any funny business.
Going back to, like, loopholes and so Jess's thoughts are kings had to interpret what it meant to enforce this treaty's will. They had to play nicely with their fellow rulers, except who decided what was nice. The vague, invisible limitations meant rulers were on their best behavior at all times. If not, they'd be dead. And her dad has to have found a loophole, like, especially if it was saying, forbid kingdoms from invading one another. Like, I feel like there's ways to get into a kingdom but not invade it,
Mhm.
so that they're not technically breaking the treaty. But yeah, I feel like the king is definitely
Yeah, he's being careful about the words, the wording.
yes. Odie has nervous energy like the way that I do. Like where your mind goes anywhere but where you need it to be. Her thoughts like were the priest men. We called them the brotherhood. Had anyone asked their preference? Or what happens when there's no more room on this page? Questions that do not matter, but she still has. And like I ask similar questions often. I ask like how do Voster pee?
I mean, if anybody even fucking listens to this episode, they know that we both do this. Like, but I think that's fucking normal, right? That's the thing that I really like about Devney's writing with this book specifically with Odessa is it's more a natural writing. It's like going her point of view and it's like a natural flow of things. And we get tidbits of information and not the way that most writers write things, but it does make it funny writing things out for us on here because I'm like, oh, she said this because of this one random thought she had, and you have to write it all.
Control.
The Guardian was laughing again, and Odessa couldn't help but feel like the jackass acted like he was in charge of this disaster. The vows began, and when it was Xavier's turn, due to him not speaking, the Guardian spoke on his behalf. Eyebrow raised. They signed, and the magic made invisible sparks crawl up her skin. Then it was done. Xavier wasn't even looking at Odessa. The king said they would honor the union with the feast, but Xavier nay-nayed that. Xavier tilted her chin up, and he kissed her on the cheek, and then walked off. Of course, Chuckles, aka the Guardian, was a giggling again. He then asked if she was in a hurry to follow Xavier and get it in, which really fucking pissed Odessa off, and that really fucking made the Guardian a happy camper. Before walking off, he told her, "Enjoy your last night in Quintus, Sparrow. We sail at dawn."
Notice that he was the only one calling her a sparrow. I mean, we knew that. Good old enemies to lovers, though. I love that he's a dick to her, but like in a playful way. I enjoy their banter. Devney is a romance girly. She can write banter well. Love her for it.
So, question: when you read
No.
this, did you instantly know that the Guardian was the prince with the whole non-speaking thing?
I wasn't I
Yeah.
knew it was him, but I wasn't sure if he was, like, using Xavier as,
Oh,
like, essentially a placeholder,
right.
like, that doesn't actually have a brain or whatever, and he just utilizes him so that way they don't know it's him, but there was no way the Guardian wasn't
Well, yeah.
it.
I mean, it was just obvious that he was the real MMC through, like, in the first couple chapters, but it made clear when he was the one saying the vows and speaking up for him. I'm like, okay.
Suspicious.
Mm-hmm. Suspicious.
When Flag Boy was like hating on him, we knew he was the male main character.
So magic seems to have a very intense effect on Odessa. Why? Like
And the only
the
one
only one
that
doesn't seem to really affect anyone else. Why? Question we will be asking.
she's magic.
Yep, we'll be asking this whole time. So the
Like
royal names that have been going on for 300 years are Oaks, Wolf, Cross, Harrow, and I want to say Kassan. And I want to say Kassan because it reminds me of the club at the MGM Grand in Vegas called Hakkasan.
Club and Girly.
Yep. And another interesting, not throwaway line wasn't it ironic that the Genesis Royals were named for a tree when they weren't even known for their lumber? Because
Something is suspicious in this kingdom. All of them.
all of the kingdoms, all of the Calandras.
The Calandras.
Calandra. Hey, I'm Cassandra the Calandra. Don't know what that means, but here we go. Not even high, guys. Not even high.
All right, some people that we met.
Mhm.
We met Odessa.
Yep.
We met Flag Boy Banner, Margot, May, the Golden King, aka King Cross, the Guardian, Prince Xavier, Brielle, other one,
Jocelyn.
Jocelyn,
Mhm.
and the Voster. We've got Boss and Brother Voster.
The
And I am going to be like keeping a tally on things with the Voster because they're shifty. We don't trust them. We don't know much about them. Like there's hundreds or thousands of them, or there's 5 of them. We don't know. There's no info on them. It's only one short book. They wield fluid magic and craft blood oaths for kings. Unsure if they are magic or have something else entirely. Like I'm leaning towards the latter. They're elusive. They've got creepy eyes. We don't know where they live. And they've got some green blood.
and they're not immortal.
No. So let's add that. So we'll keep this list running.
Mhm.
We learned about a few gods, mom and dad, Amma and Oda. The 6, they're kidlets. We've gotten 3 names for gods. There's the goddess of peace, Kareen, the god of death, Izza,
Isaac.
Isaac. I've missed a letter.
Isa.
And the god of mischief, Farius, which, what a name because,
I know.
nefarious.
Truth.
Sneaky.
Thank you guys for tuning in and joining us as we continue through the world of Calandra. If you love the podcast, please share your stories and give us a little taggy tag.
And don't forget to follow us. Shit. Don't forget to follow us on social medias. And Avi, love it when you write us reviews. All links are in our info, you giggling gal pals. Check you later.
Love you. Bye.
You can unclench those clams now.
Oh, thank God.